this is being live streamed.
Got it. Okay, Stacey, are we ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Stacey, are we ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Stacey, have your Facebook open?
Yes.
Let's close your Facebook and then let's get started, okay?
Yes.
Let's close your Facebook and then let's get started, okay?
Okay. Yes.
Let's close your Facebook and then let's get started. Okay, there we go. Okay, Stacey. So hello, everybody. We are coming to you live today with the inaugural episode of Sip with Stacey, a bi-weekly live event here on Facebook where we spill the leadership tea with Women's Council leaders from across the country. I am Elyse Nedrow, today's guest host. I am the current Ohio State Treasurer, graduate of the Leadership Institute, and a faculty member for Network 360. Stacey, thank you for the honor of co-hosting with you today. You are an important part of my Women's Council journey and also a fellow Buckeye. Yay! Yay. I was thrilled to be asked to help you launch this series. And before we get started, just a little housekeeping. Please drop your comments and questions, and we will do our best to answer them here today or follow up with you. We have Rochelle Yukich from Oregon here to help us monitor this, so be sure to say hi in the comments. So for this first episode, we're turning the tables a bit, and I will be asking Stacey questions about her leadership journey and what has inspired her to spill the leadership tea on Sip with Stacey. Without further ado, Stacey Krolak.
Hi, everybody. So honored and so glad to be here with all of you today. Hope you all have your tea.
That's great. Stacey, we're going to dive right in because we're going to keep these series short and sweet, full of content, really relevant to our members. So right off the bat, Stacey, what inspired the Leadership live stream series?
Absolutely. So the idea behind the Leadership live stream was to take a really deep dive into leadership, but more specifically, how these leaders are living the council's mission, vision, and values. I was inspired to start this program because leaders have reached out to me, and we all lift as we climb. And so that's so very important because we're going up, but we're also pulling others on our climb. And mentors in my leadership journey have extended their hand many times to me, and I want to repay that. And I'm very passionate about doing that for others.
Would you say this is your movement and why to empower women to embrace leadership?
Yes. I would say that it is a movement to empower women to embrace leadership, but it's also an action with a follow through. Just as I said before, when we lift as we climb, we are holding on to that mentor that is leading the way for us, but we are also on the other side, we're pulling up somebody else or maybe many others. And that's what's so important because there's something to learn on both sides of the equation. And sometimes in life, we're just so busy. It's a competitive world out there. Everyone is in a race to do this and that. And during this course of action, sometimes we forget the basic ethics of teamwork, of values, of morals. And so we all become stronger when we lift each other up.
Yeah, that's great, Stacey. That reminds me of a saying that we probably all have heard, but it really resonates. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's really just a great way to sum that up. Stacey, we have, these 5 Women's Council core values, and they are professional credibility, power of collaboration, leadership, influence, and opportunity. Could you share with us how you are living by the council's core values?
Yes. So the first core value I'd like to talk about is professional credibility. And that's so very important. A lot of people don't realize the integrity and the respect that we offer to our community, to our clients, and to our fellow members. And that's something that the Women's Council And my personal experience has really driven home to me and how important that is to always project your very best. The power of collaboration, when I think of that, I think, oh my gosh, I'm connected to so many women and leaders around our great nation, but also globally. And how that benefits us. I can pick up a phone and call a member in Florida, for example, or Texas or Ohio, and I can have a conversation, or I can help a client, or better understand to maybe even help a family member sell a property. And so that power of collaboration, that strength in who we are as agents, and that we're helping each other. And then when we think of leadership within the council, wow, I remember when I first started the council and I was a brand new agent, I said, why do I need to be in leadership? What is this all about? And of course, I joined Women's Council right away. But boy, did I dig my feet in the dirt and say, why do I need this? And I didn't get it until, of course, like so many of us, till we go to a national meeting and then we're like, we have that aha moment and we realize, oh my gosh, leadership is everything. It's everything in not only our realtor life, but in our family life, our personal life, and everything we do. So I'm so very thankful for that core value. Influence, the influence that we can have over others is so important, and including everyone in our mission going forward and embracing everyone. And boy, Women's Council has really taught me that and driven inclusion into my life. I'm really grateful for that. And then opportunity, the opportunity to share the good news of Women's Council and enrich each other's lives and really help each other on this life journey that we're all on. It's a inner freeway, if you will, of leadership. Mm-hmm. And we're all on the bus together. And if we help each other, it's just easier for us all.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Our the 4 pillars of Women's Council are leadership, networking, education, and referrals. And that, as the pillars with these core values, it just really is something not only for your professional growth, but it really starts with your personal growth, leadership of self. And your core value of integrity, your passion, building your referral network, it's really inspiring. So we're going to dig in a little bit to you before you were a realtor in this
okay.
world. So Stacey, you are an entrepreneur, having owned and operated several businesses, including 11 Subway franchises, Chevron gas stations, garage cabinetry, garage flooring, and even a sports bar. I can imagine you probably had a lot of late nights there and really, managed some personalities. Do you think experiences as a woman business owner is where you learn tenacity and grit? We all know real estate takes grit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Tenacity and grit I learned in those businesses. And it's kind of funny because I will hear people say, oh, this real estate business, it's so hard. And I almost laugh inside, never outside, because I think, oh, it's so much easier. A sports bar, we would have, confrontations occasionally with customers. And I always thought, my gosh, if I can talk these 2 men out of the front door without doing any damage, I can sell real estate every single day of my life. So I did learn a lot about personalities and what drives people and what motivates people. And also just the power of never giving up and figuring out what the solution is. That's what these businesses really taught me is there's always a solution, and you just have to never give up, and you've got to look at all angles, and you have to be inclusive. And the solution will come to you by having that passion that you will succeed and that you will never give up, and always to dream big. But also with dreaming big, we always have to remember that we have to have goals, because if we don't have goals and we don't have a clear path, we won't hit that dream. And so it comes hand in hand. So dream big, but also set your goals.
I love that. So I love that it really helps prepare you for working with people, dealing with people, if you will, because we're all just our own personalities and our own goals. And when we are able to effectively bring those together, it is really powerful. And I know that we're on, Sip with Stacey, Spill the Tea, but I have my favorite mug here today from Coffee that says you can do it. And I think your message of perseverance there and looking for the solution is really important. So this is another fantastic thing about you. You have formed a team with your daughter, Ashley, and tell us about this partnership and a bit about what you have learned from your daughter and what you hope she learns from this experience working side by side with you.
Yes. So my daughter is Ashley, and she organically joined myself, and she had just graduated from ASU, degree in psychology, was going to take a year off, travel, and then go back and get her master's. And I said, Ashley, why don't you go and get your real estate license? I'm getting really busy. I could use the help, and you can use the money and, continue on traveling. And so she did 1-2 transactions like we all did, and she fell in love with it. And that was 5 years ago. The mother-daughter relationship is such a special relationship. And then you have the business on top of that. You have another layer. So you have to, I was always in the back of my mind thinking, I've got to really protect and preserve this relationship, because above all, I want a relationship with my daughter. There's, there's nothing more important than my children and my grandchildren in my life. So you have to come with that mindset, I believe, but also, just thinking about, what her goals were in the picture too. So what I've learned from her is patience in following through and sharing with her, but also it's a beautiful thing because she's the yin to my yang. What she's really good at, I'm not so much, and just the opposite. And so it's really turned into this beautiful relationship, this beautiful working relationship. And what I did from the very start is when I brought Ashley in, I brought her in at 50-50. We split absolutely everything. And I remember even some of my women's council members, they're like, why? You're going to give her even your referrals from women's council? And I said, absolutely, because I believe in my daughter and I know what she's capable of. And I never looked back from that point on. And I think the level of respect when I did that rose up in her mind. And so she gave me all she had, and she continues to impress me every single day. She just won top 40 out of 40, even though she's under 30. They should have a 30 under 30, but top agent. And she gives to our community. She works with charity groups, Helping Hands and Girls Rule, just like I do. And I'm just couldn't be prouder of her. But one technique that we do use that I just absolutely love, that I'd love to share with you today, is that using the DISC profile and Clifton strengths and all of those, we have studied all of those. When we meet our clients, we actually analyze who is connecting with that client the best, and that's the one that takes the lead. The other one steps back and is more behind the scenes doing the paperwork, because we want to service our clients first, and we want to give them the best that we can give them. And whoever can connect and be on the same level with them is who's going to service them better. And so that's why I absolutely love working with my daughter, and who would I want to see succeed more than my own daughter. So it's just a gift that's been given to me, and I'm just beaming, so proud to work with her.
That's fantastic. And she is, it feeds back to just your why in general, empower women and to embrace leadership. And who more important in your life than to empower your daughter to do that? So Stacey, we are getting ready to actually wrap up here in just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So I'm going to, we want to know what we can expect next from this series. So it's time for us to, pass the teacup back over to you. And so tell us, what can we expect next from this series?
Okay, so we are going to be interviewing more of my mentors, which I'm super excited to share that with our community, but also interviewing other important leaders in our council. And so look forward to that. We have more news coming probably in just later this week.
That's great. And so I know, Stacey, you had asked me, you wanted me to share my personal experience about being on a faculty member with Network 360 recently. Yes. And I just wanted to touch a little bit on, Stacey, if you would. I believe that you were curious about how they had, reformatted the program some.
Yeah, well, what was most intriguing is that I wanted to learn what your personal experience was, and how you felt that it was executed.
Yeah, so again, Women's Council and these 5 core values, and coming to the national meetings and the state meetings, and the way that Women's Council has, continued to show up in my life, that when I was invited to be a faculty member for Network 360, it was just a really amazing feeling to have that opportunity. And so what they did this year, they changed it up a little bit, is they took 360 and they really made our Women's Council mission statement the heart of it. And they took our Women's Council mission statement and they broke it down into segments. So you had faculty members who taught on, we are a network of successful realtors, and that launched it off. And we focused everything around our mission statement, and we were all tasked to develop programs and presentations around what our particular portion of the mission statement was. The team that I worked with, Stacey Thibodeau from Georgia and Kate Kelly from Colorado, I cannot say anything about this without mentioning them, because they were so fantastic to work with. We were tasked with doing in the industry portion, where we were helping our incoming leaders develop WOW programs to really engage members and our partners in the industry, and how do we provide value to them and to our members with all this fantastic programming. So the entire day was built around this. We never left a room. We stayed in this room. And what was so amazing,
you stayed in the same room? You stayed in the same room the whole time? Wow.
Because, usually you rotate out through rooms. And so what was so amazing was we actually, our local network president-elects were in the same room all day with each other. And what was so amazing about it was that the energy at 7 a.m. in the morning was incredible. And the energy when we were wrapping up at 4 p.m. was the same. And I think our president-elects and our future leaders that are coming in 2023 are really going to engage with that, with the mission at the heart. And it was so impactful. And, our 2023 leaders are going to bring it. So it was so wonderful to be a part of that. So thank you for asking me about that. And thank you for asking me to help you with your program today.
Oh, you're so very welcome. And thanks for sharing your personal experience within the Women's Council. That's just wonderful to see your excitement and how it has inspired you. I can see the enthusiasm on the screen.
Yes, thank you. So we are here. So Stacey, we did great. This is our first one. We said we were going to do it in 15 or 20 minutes. I believe we were at minute number 18. So, okay. Let's pat ourselves on the back, but we're getting ready to wrap up. Stacey, do you have any last words that you would like to say before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining today with Sip with Stacey as we spill the leadership tea, and we look forward to our new leaders being interviewed. Thank you all so very much. Bye-bye.